Yeah, I thought so. I saw his name.
Maybe it was from last time.
Oh.
Yes, all of them have disappeared today.
Well,
Did you send out?
Yes.
I'm just doing.
Start going.
Are
ده
starting?
check.
Yes. Session is starting.
Yes, good.
Join.
Good.
زاوية ده شو
Yeah, I got your email, server.
safe.
Okay.
Recording has started. You've recorded all the sessions?
Yes.
Should I put that in there too? The sessions are recorded
Recorded by
for
His Highness
Dr.
Dr. Mohib.
Moheb and are available upon demand
Yeah. At the cost of 1,000 Afghan each.
each time. Right.
And
Per day.
24 sessions is 24,000 Afghan.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
You'll be doing
More than
well.
20.
Very.
And if they borrow it more than once, then you can charge accordingly. Okay.
At
So-
first, they should take permission from you
Yeah.
and put
Oh
We should give
right?
him
buy
one more salary.
buy the permission. Then he can
Buy
sell.
permission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he can sell as
Buy
what he can.
Now Sarah wants 10% on that.
For coming up with the whole idea, business plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we good? Shall we
Yes.
start? Okay.
Yes.
Parotid, another parotid, FNA. So, do we remember what we talked about last time? So maybe Dr. Moheb, you were very quiet that day. So why don't you start us off today? Salivary gland, parotid, FNA. Patient age, if you want to know all that information, is 64-year-old male.
6.
Okay. So, what do you see? Where is he going? Oh, he make a cup of tea. So, quite cellular, right?
Yes.
Okay. Dr. Moheb. So, remember when the first parotid we looked at, we saw normal parotid looks like what?
Like a grape.
Grape-like
Grape-like
clusters,
clusters.
few, not
Mm.
nicely organized, right? So,
Yes.
Dr. Moheb, what do you think of this case?
It's not looking normal.
Not looking good?
Yeah.
Dr. Moheb, hello?
Hello,
Oh,
the quality is good. Thank you.
very good, okay.
Our focus once reached 6.
Okay.
Blood cluster.
Yep.
The abundance of cytoplasm. And the cytoplasm shows oculations.
Do they look like macrophages in the background or the same as the flat cluster?
Same cluster.
Same as the cluster. And okay, abundant cytoplasm kind of looks vacuolated, bubbly-ish, maybe some of it, right? Especially here. Okay. Anything else?
It lost a little the triangulated features.
It's lost those triangulated features. They look more flat, polygonal. Perhaps, okay. And anything else? Small and large, so some pleomorphism.
In some sense.
Prominent nucleoli, I agree. Where's the coarse chromatin?
Some sense between them
Okay, so some of the nuclei look dark. Is that what you're saying? Oh, there's my error. So like that, some are dark, some are not. Some are nice and round and open chromatin. Almost, yeah.
Go upper,
Upper here.
under.
Salam, Dr. Alma. Alma.
Amna.
No. All right. Yes, up. You said here. Here. These ones. What about them?
Looks like it. Treatment.
Crushed. No, not crushed. It looks okay. It just looks a little dark. Yeah. Okay. So mixture of these dark nuclei with some round open chromatin nuclei. I also see prominent nucleoli in these open nuclei. The dark ones, I can't see anything. It's just too dark, right? Okay, but they look like they're the same cells. All right. And we have, what are all the single cells in the background? Same kind of cells? Yeah.
Yes.
Would you say monotonous population of these many of the cells which look the same?
Yeah.
All look the same? And then here's a mark someone made. Also, so there's a bit of a group here. Looks a little bit more 3D, not so flat. But same kind of cells or different or what?
A little bit different.
A little bit different. You said abundant cytoplasm. Do you see anything in the cytoplasm? Vacuoles?
Vacuoles, yes.
That's it? Okay. Also a bit granular, maybe?
Yes.
With some vacuoles mixed. Yeah. Okay. All right. So no grape-like clusters, too many cells. I heard somewhere that this doesn't look good. So when you say this doesn't look good, what are some of our options? What diagnostic category are we in? And what do you think is happening here? So some of these look almost 3D. Yeah, kind of like that other group we saw.
Assalamu alaikum. What's the site of FNAC?
This is a parotid FNA in a 64-year-old male.
64. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So
Could it be mucoepidermide carcinoma?
would it be? Why would you say that?
Because these single cells looks like these are mucinous cells.
Could it be, Dr. Molu?
They look pretty uniform. They look like the same.
All the same?
All the same, like the same
Yeah.
sheets and.
So I don't know if you were there last week, Dr. Bassett.
Yes.
But yeah, we looked at some of those examples, and generally the mucoepidermoid looks a little bit more mixed, almost, if you want to say, with almost like a dirty cystic background. You get the odd signet ring type cell, a really very prominent signet ring type cells, perhaps even some mixed squamous or squamoid looking cells. So it had a little bit more of a mixed presentation than this, what we're seeing here. Here, these cells are looking very monotonous, like there is a one cell population. You agree?
Yeah. This looks like acinic cell making acini.
Acinic cell, yeah, right. And yes, with acinic cell, you do see more of that one cell population, right? Okay. What does everybody else think? Agree with Dr. Bassett? Yeah? No? Malignant. Okay, so we're in malignant, are we? Everybody think this is bad, malignant? Too many cells, not
Yeah,
in
it
those
is
nice
malignant.
grape-like clusters. Yes, right? Okay, and we have this one cell population, and I don't have a cell block, but yes, this actually was a cynic cell carcinoma. Okay, so yeah, you see kind of this more polygonal type cells. They're not in those nice little grape-like clusters anymore. No myoepithelial nuclei here either. It's just a proliferation of this one cell type, and they kind of look I guess they must have grades, right? The cynic cell carcinoma, Dr. Malu?
Sorry.
High grade, low grade?
Yes, they do.
They do. So yeah, I don't know that on cytology we can tell, but yeah, they look very monomorphic. These ones we can see prominent nucleoli. We haven't seen any mitotic figures or anything like that yet, but we did, so in some of the flat sheets, you guys were noticing some dark nuclei and some more open nuclei. So perhaps there's even a little bit of that apoptotic type bodies or apoptotic nuclei in here. So there's some cell turnover, but I haven't seen any mites. There's no obvious necrosis or anything like that. Yeah, is any other differential?
Tamam çöl
Not
be.
back. Oh, they were.
Yeah, paylaş.
Are you back on? On now? We can hear you.
We
Can you
can
hear
hear
us?
you, but no
Can't
images.
see ya.
We don't have the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the screen, I don't know, somehow said
Lost my
trying to reconnect and doing issues here. So we are working on it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we haven't moved on to the next case. We'll wait till you are connected before we do that. And any other comments about that actinic cell carcinoma that we were looking at?
In that case, can differential be like a secretory carcinoma of the salivary gland, or not?
No, secretory carcinoma would be more glandular, Dr. Martin.
More glandular?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see what the other categories are. Malignant. Some inflammatory cells. So a mixed, would you say, or monotonous?
No, more like mixed cells.
A bit mixed. Okay. Yep. All right, yeah, you agree, everybody? Here is a blast-like cell. Yeah, here is a mature, and then we have some intermediate size cells, right? Okay, everybody comfortable with that? Yeah, so we have some, looks like a mixed population of lymphocytes. Was super brief, okay. Okay, all right. So lymphocytes, so far just not sure what they're marking here. Looks normal, doesn't it? Anybody see anything worrisome?
Not
Macrophage?
yet.
Not yet. Macrophage here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's out of your. Oh, no, you see it. Okay. Macrophage there. Okay.
Few neutrophils.
And few neutrophils. Yeah. What's this one? Lymphocytes. Yeah, there are lots of lymphs, of course. Yes. So what's that?
Like
Looks binucleated. What does that mean?
eosinophil?
Perhaps an EO.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
one is.
Another one. Oh, getting lucky today. Finding some EOs in here. Okay. What does that mean? Does it mean anything?
Yeah.
What? We want to see the big cells. We haven't seen any yet, have we? No. Okay. Something right here. I can't really see it's right by
this
the
is
mark, but we're
binucleated.
going to look around for something better. That looks a little big for a blast, eh? Look, these guys.
Is it binucleated?
Not quite. This one's mono. This one here. This one, what do you think? Is it?
Mitotic.
It might be mitotic. Where?
Mitotic or binucleation?
Maybe, yeah. It might be multi-nucleated. It's hard to see exactly clearly. There could be more than one nucleus in there. Possible. Okay, let's
We
look
can
around.
use the term popcorn as well. Popcorn like
Yeah.
nuclei.
We certainly can. Yes, absolutely. And they do sometimes look exactly like popcorn nuclei.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
clear.
This one is a more mononucleated. Okay. Right. So we are starting to find some big cells in here. A few more. And is the age the right age group? This is 32 female. Is that a common age group for what you guys are thinking here?
Here we have more common in elder age, young ages. I mean like
Young.
10, 12, 7-year-old.
Very young. Okay. Right. Oh, yeah, I think you mentioned that last time too. Okay, good. So let's just review here quickly. Normal lymphoid cells, and then the big cells, which we saw over on the other side. We're going to try and find some nice something else as well, big cells. But yes, so Hodgkin's is generally in a background of normal heterogeneous lymphocytes. Yes, normal. And then here again, we found a few more EOs. Yes, see that?
Yeah.
Right. We don't always find EOs, but it's something. If you do start seeing them, you should think about it. Okay, and I think you guys, Hodgkin's is super common over here too, right? You were saying last time.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is that? It's
not
prominently
bad.
filled nuclei.
Coli.
Maybe two nuclei even sitting kind of facing each other, moon-shaped nuclei maybe. Okay. Right. So we have, are we fairly confident here? That's what we have? We haven't screened the whole thing, but you know, looking at some of these marks.
But
Mm,
something
yeah.
is weird because we suddenly we jump from salivary gland to
Yeah,
something
I think
LPD.
yes, very good observation, Dr. Modassir.
Dr.
Mujtaba, sorry. Oh my God. Anyway, yes, very good observation. I think you were cut off from the Zoom when I made that comment saying we have a few other cases which are mixture of head and neck and some salivary gland and all a mixture of everything. So it's a little opportunity to review things as well.
Yeah.
Okay, you good
Okay,
with
that's
this?
great.
Excellent.
Yes,
Very
yes, yes.
okay. You were wondering what happened here. No problem. Okay, so and as I go on screening power, which is 10, you can see quite easily these big cells sitting in here, right? Yes. And that should be a big clue, a big tip off as well, that you know these much larger, bigger cells sitting in the background. And we talked about it last time. There are a few variants of Hodgkin's. So you might see, like here, we're seeing a nice, quite a heavy population of lymphocytes, but you can also have lymphocyte depleted, right? And more of these big cells and few lymphocytes. So you can see a few variations of Hodgkin's, right? Okay. Anything else we need to add here before we move on? So this was from a supraclavicular lymph node.
Okay.
And I don't know,
Also,
it is. Go ahead, Dr. Basit. Sorry.
those Reed-Sternberg cell, those Hodgkin cells are, I think, eosinophilic attractive.
Ah, okay. So what does that mean?
It means that when Reed-Sternberg cells are there, eosinophils come to the lymph node.
Ah, I see, I see. Oh, Reed Sternberg specifically.
Mm.
Oh, okay. I hadn't heard that. Interesting.
And
Okay.
another point, especially for cases in Afghanistan, I don't know, is it common in other areas or not? But we have lots of cases that
Yeah.
is a combination of granulomatous inflammation with Hodgkin lymphoma.
Right.
In
Those
last
kind
week,
of
we had 2 cases of granulomatous inflammation combined with Hodgkin lymphoma. That is an important point to not miss. Hodgkin
The
lymphoma in the
Hodgkin.
background of
Very good comment. Yeah.
granulomatous
Excellent.
inflammation.
No, thank you for sharing that. That's very good. Yeah, and we've actually seen a few
yeah.
nice Reed Sternberg cells. So here's actually a very nice arrangement as well. Okay, so that's good to know. So that see residents and everybody here. So that's a good comment too. That yeah, if you see granulomatous inflammation in the background, still make sure you are looking at your background cells and looking at for anything else that might be hiding in the black background, because often and we find that too in the West is you know, granulomas can coexist with other malignancies, right, Dr. Mulu?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, good comment. And yeah, for you guys here with you know, seeing more of these Hodgkin cases or Hodgkin's lymphoma, yeah, also to remember that, right? Okay, any other comments before we move on? No, we're good with this, Hodgkin's, and it was Hodgkin's lymphoma. Okay, all right, very good. So here we have, we are back to parotid, left parotid in a 55-year-old male. And okay, there's some really very large bizarre cells in here. See that? Can you see
Yes.
the prominent nucleoli in those guys? Multinucleated prominent nucleoli, quite a bit of cytoplasm. Okay, I'm just going to take you around, show you what is all on the slide. Lots of those kind of giant cells. It's a single cells, and are they all the same kind of cell? So again, we're back in the parotid. So remember what you're supposed to see. Hmm.
Those cluster and cells are not good. Looks
Not good.
malignant.
Yep, they look bad for sure. Okay. Yep, they have prominent nucleoli, multiple nucleoli, irregular nucleoli, lots of pleomorphism, variable sizes. See, they have a moderate, abundant even cytoplasm on a lot of these cells, and a lot of them are multinucleated. And look at the bizarre size of some of these nuclei.
Mhm.
Wow,
So big.
huge. Okay, yeah, definitely something going on. Does it look like anything primary? Any of our primary salivary gland has quite a list of primary malignancies, but the common primary, does it look anything like that?
Primary.
Cynic cell, mucoepidermoid, ductal.
No, no. If we find the biphasic component, we can think about carcinosarcoma. We
Right.
have that in salivary gland, although it is rare.
Pleomorphic X pleomorphic carcinoma.
Pleomorphic, okay. So yes, lots of options we can think of here, right? Very good. Yeah. So start thinking of those other. It doesn't look quite like your classic those things, acidic, mucoepidermoid, ductal, right? It looks a little something different, right? Okay, very good. So absolutely, and then there are those other more rare malignant entities in the salivary gland, and also you think about metastatic too, right? Metastatic
Yeah.
carcinoma would be another thing to consider too. So history, okay, did we have any history? We can maybe inquire from the clinician to see what does this patient have anything, and then yeah, go from there. But yes, definitely some really wild malignant cells in here. Crazy multinucleated cells. Okay. Right. So actually this person, and I don't know if it was in the history or not, but maybe it probably was, but this person had a melanoma.
Wow.
Yeah, this person had a melanoma, and our diagnosis was metastatic melanoma. That would of course be super helpful if you had history, because these cells just by themselves are not giving away anything. There's no melanin pigment or anything to suggest that, right? But that's what this ended up. Pardon me?
Dear customer.
Yeah. Yes. So do you remember melanoma, we said, is the big mimicker
Yeah.
and can look like anything, right? So this is what we are seeing here. And yes, you are absolutely right, Dr. Mohammed. There are some features here which are kind of maybe suggesting, like, this kind of very dense cytoplasm, right? Abundant cytoplasm. Well, there is a true keratinization. It just looks a little eosinophilic because it's such a round ball. You remember I talked about eosin, how it penetrates. True keratinization would be like orange and glassy. Yes. And you would see orange cytoplasm. But yes, I do agree with you that some of these cells do have almost like a little that tail, squamous, tentacle look to it. So finding a true keratin, true, really, the odd keratinizing, you know, a miniature squamous cell with the very orange glassy cytoplasm. Sometimes, you know, if you look around, you can see one or two squamoid cells. You can do immunos. If you have a cell block, you can do immunos. History, first, you know, the history, looking for more history would be my first thing. I don't know, Dr. Malu, do you have a certain protocol of steps you follow for when you don't have any idea of what it could be?
Like say with history would be first, and then you depend on your immunostains on the cell block.
Yeah, cell block. So that's again importance of getting a cell block, right? But you see cells like this, yeah, definitely make you think, well, would there be? Yeah, some squamoid. But you see the cytoplasm isn't super glassy here. No, and it's not orange. Haven't seen any keratin debris in the background. So yeah. But yeah, certainly something to think about, especially in head and neck lesions. Squamous is quite common. Okay, everybody good with this? So we had some pretty crazy malignant cells on here. And yeah, all right, good. Okay.
You should always think of melanoma.
Right?
So remember, I said when you see big cells, go through differential carcinoma, lymphoma, sarcoma, and melanoma.
Yeah. Okay. This is coming from scalp. So would have been an FNA, maybe an FNA, or sometimes even a scalp could be just a scrape if lesion is like obvious and visible, right? So I'm not sure what this was. But looking at what I'm seeing here, just the look of it, if it was a scrape, you'd see some squamous cells or keratinizing, you know, skin. I don't see any of that. So I'm thinking this might have been a scalp FNA. So they went in a little deeper, but in the scalp area. Okay. Not a lot of stuff. There's a few inflammatory background inflammatory cells, mixture of lymphocytes, leukocytes, neutrophils, I mean. Okay. And then this one is marked. Anyone want to describe this?
Please. Cluster.
Yep.
Monomorphic cells.
Yep.
Cross-chromatin. Hyperchromatic.
Yeah, they have tiny nucleoli. They're quite monotonous, monomorphic, like you said, exactly. They're small, right? They're small, very tight little cluster, almost 3D. Basaloid. What's that word? Okay, so let's look around and see what else we have here. It's quite scant. There's not a ton of cells, but I'm gonna, here's another little cluster, similar looking. Okay, small blue cells in a very tight cluster.
Molding, right?
Almost molding. Some of them are falling off here, so you can actually see them a little bit more easily here. Very small sized, down to oval. Are very, not much cytoplasm, is there? Not too much cytoplasm. Very 3D.
3D and looks a papillary or infiltrative pattern.
Yeah, it looks like little papillary globs growing together. Okay. Interesting. All right. One.
In the background, those cells are enucleated squamous cells or something
In the background,
different.
no, not squamous. It's is this the stuff you're looking at, thinking about this?
Yeah, these are dirty
no.
background.
A bit dirty, but it's not, definitely not squamous. It looks like proteinaceous debris
Okay.
that just has precipitated in the fixative. Yeah, just proteinaceous debris. Keratin would be much more well-defined and glassy and orange. This is looking very fluffy. Yeah, so just proteinaceous junk. Dust on this slide. Okay, so here was another group similar to that, and yeah, so basically just those kinds of groups. And here's another one. Okay. Right. Very monomorphic and small.
They're not palisading, are they?
Palisading. Okay, so palisading at the periphery, what that suggests what?
Basal cell carcinoma.
Exactly, basal cell carcinoma. So that might be something to think about and look for. What else?
Basal cell adenocarcinoma.
Basal cell carcinoma.
Basal cell adenocarcinoma is another differentiation.
Is another differential. Okay, basal cell adenocarcinoma.
Basal cell adenoma, what is the difference between that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Basement
Adenoma is
well.
also.
Sorry, what did you say?
They
Like
can
what?
coroma.
Study that sometimes.
Pluroma? What's a pluroma?
It's connected to the epidermis. It's a sort of a basaloid appearance, but under the skin and next cell tube.
Oh, okay. I've never even heard of it. All right. Is there a different name for it?
No.
Okay.
Also look like basalite tissues.
Okay. Okay.
The thing
Interesting.
is, the hair follicle tumors also will have this basaloid appearance.
Right.
So based on cytology, it'd be tough to
Just to
pinpoint.
pinpoint. Yes,
Yeah,
right. Okay.
Histologic pattern.
Yeah, I see. Okay, I get it. Okay, so we have a few differentials, which is great. So that's good to think about when you're seeing this kind of cell presentation, right? And skin. So yeah, it's not a simple, I guess it's more complicated, but it would be easy to just get some kind of an excisional biopsy. Is that what you would suggest here?
That would be the
Yes, sorry,
recommended.
before one of the colleagues said it has a invasive pattern.
For
Dr.
what?
Bassett said, of this Dr. Bassett said,
Yes.
it has invasive pattern, infiltrative. How can we say it's infiltrative pattern in cytology? And this can we say for this infiltrative pattern?
I don't think we on Cyto that you could confidently say that because we can't see you on histology. You can see that, right? You can see the basal layers and the epidermis and see that infiltration. But on cytology, that's limitation. We cannot, unless I think if you see obvious necrosis and tumor diathesis or something.
Yeah.
But I think just this, given this, it would not be possible, right? Okay, so all right, very good. Yeah, we got quite a list of differentials to think about, and I think all of them would probably have a similar suggestion of you know, on your report to say suggesting some excision to rule out all these differentials, right? Or to confirm what it really is. Okay, very good. And I'm not sure, we might have already had a history of something, but actually, yeah, we did, because we call this recurrent adenoid cystic carcinoma.
Adenoid cyst.
Yes. Yes. So we must have known that this person already had it somewhere, and then possibly, can you do immunostem? I'm sure you, maybe not. All right. Anyway, yeah. So this is what we called it: recurrent adenoid cystic carcinoma. Okay. It's not as beautiful as the case we saw last week.
Yeah.
With the balls and the microcystic and all that stuff happening. But yes, sometimes this is how it presents, is you can't see the balls. But if we have a cell block even, sometimes you can, it helps to see. So this particular one, I think you can see a little bit of that globule sticking out a little bit. But yeah, if you can slice through some of these balls, you might see that microcystic pattern, right? Anyway, okay. But no, we got a good number of differentials, and you guys thought about anything that has that basaloid pattern to it. So that's great. Anyone want to add anything more to this? No? We're good? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, this was a little bit more having to think of. Yeah. Okay. Here is one from what?
Mandible,
A buckle.
left mandible. Yes.
Something. I think this one, 2617, yeah, is a buckle. This is a left buccal mass, which is what?
Parotid gland.
Inside the mouth.
Inside the mouth.
Inside the mouth.
Left
Side.
buccal mass. So a mass in the mouth. And the other history that came with this was a destructive mandible lesion, also noted. Okay, so some complicated history here. And the age of this patient is 5-year-old female. Okay, 5-year-old female. So young patient, a buccal mass with a destructive mandibular lesion. So not sounding good already. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to show you around just to show you what kind of cells. So, and then we'll look at some differentials. Yeah. Okay. So look like
Margination.
neuroendocrine cells. Okay. Salt and pepper. Okay. Right. So we have some in this kind of almost little groups, perhaps small groups, single cells. Are these all the same kind of cell is what we're going to look at now to see. Are they all the same kind of cell, or do we have a mixture of cells? All right. So
So
and
for
you-
the residents, this is a pediatric patient with
Yep.
a destructive mass in the
Mhm.
mouth. And these are small cells, medium cells, or large cells. What do you think the cells are?
Small
Medium cells.
the small cells.
And then you think of your differential.
Mm.
While you're looking down, think of what does differential for a small cell tumor would be in a pediatric age that's destroying the cell. Yeah.
So what are some options? What are some things that you should be thinking of?
I think when we talk about children like 5 years, 3 years, we always should think about blast tumors like cytoloblastoma and the tumors that are common on that age, like
Retinoblastoma,
yeah,
Small
How
cell
about this, the
tumor.
diagnosis of granular cell tumor? Can it be?
yeah.
Granular in a child,
It would not be destroying that much.
bone destruction, would that happen?
What other sarcomas do you think of in this age group?
Lymphoma,
Rhabdomyocyte.
one, two.
If this child was from Uganda, you would think of.
Or ABV. Epstein-Barr.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Burkitt.
But
Burkitt's.
what about other small ones who said tumors, we said?
This much invasive. What about melanoma?
Neuroblastoma, but neuroblastoma is
Neuroblastoma,
Retinal-
yeah. Neuroblastoma, retinoblastoma, Ewing's.
and also we
Ewing.
have pigmented ectodermal of infancy, something like that. Pigmented
Right.
neurodermal,
Rhabdomyopia.
but
Okay.
that is not this case, I think.
Not
It is
this case.
pinnate when you say Mustafa, yes? Pinnate, near ectodermal femur, primitive
Peanut.
near ectodermal.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
He was
Yes.
talking about this, I think.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Very good. So we have a whole slew of differentials on our list. Can we rule it out? Anything on just cytology?
No.
No.
No. But there is one we can rule out. Here.
Lymphoma?
There's aggregates.
Because
Yes.
these
And
cells are not dispersed. Yeah, these are
not
aggregates.
first, exactly. They're forming little groups and little clusters. There's lots of singles too, but you see how they're trying to connect. Yeah, they're trying to grow together. So that is something you don't see in lymphoma. So that is probably the only one we can rule out just on cytology. But everything else is on the plate, right? Because it could be any of those blastoma, small blue cell tumors, right? Okay, so what do we need to do next?
Next, cell block,
Cell block by
seasonal
HD.
biopsy.
Yeah. In the ideal world, you should already have your cell block in your hand when you look at this slide, right? Okay, so that's something. Yes, cell block. Now you can do all kinds of immunos, right?
Yes.
And nail it down. Okay, very good. So yeah, I think you guys got this. There's some yeah, you got it all. Anything else, Dr. Maulud, that you want to add here before I share an answer here?
Yes. The team has come up with a good different.
Yeah, and here is a cell block. Speaking of cell blocks, I actually brought one. Okay, so this is a cell block from this case. You see, and it actually was a decent cell block. Look at that. We've got all kinds of cells here, and again, we see the same kind of pattern. A lot of aggregating, grouping. Anything else you see? Do you see apoptotic bodies?
Yes.
See that?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Right. So those are other things, but all those blastomas and all those things you mentioned look very similar to each other. On cytology, they look very similar. There's one or two which maybe you see like rosette pattern or anything else, Dr. Molu, that you might notice. I think one of them, I can't remember which one, has a bit of a rosette pattern to it. But
Most of the endogram are more experts.
yeah, right. They would have all the info. All right. So we did some. I'm gonna just share with you some of that. Don't look at the answers, you guys. PAS positive, Vimentin positive, CD99 super positive.
Ewing,
Ewing sarcoma.
There you go. Nailed it, right? Yeah, it was Ewing sarcoma. And biopsy confirmed same. Right? There you go.
So the key here is important when you're looking down the microscope. With the history, the destructive lesion, start thinking rather than jump into the yes, think of 5-year-old kid, small cell. You start the differential before you. It's easier.
Madam, if we don't have cell block in IHC facility, so how we can
How are
report
you
this
going to
case?
do this? Yeah.
Yes.
So yes, Dr. Mushba, Dr. Bassett, can you share your thoughts on this question? Is in your facility, if you don't have a cell block, what do you do?
Okay, basically, we go at least positive for malignancy.
Yeah.
And
suggest-
then when we suggest a note or in comment, we suggest those round blue cell tumors, blastomas, and Ewing sarcoma. But we cannot go through diagnosis because we don't have the facility of cell block and IHC mostly.
If you had a cell block, would you be able to do anything?
Yep, of course.
So then you can.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Why don't you guys make cell blocks?
Actually, where I'm working, we don't have the facility of IHC.
But you could send it over here or somewhere within Kabul to get it done, or no?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, because here we have lots of problem. When we register a case for histopathology, it is only just for histopathology and not even for special stains, because if patient needs a special stain, we have to request them to register again for that stain or for that IHC.
They have to pay for it.
And yeah, and that is the time that most of the doctors or the patients are not happy when we get all the money for each case to be stained for IC or special stains. They
Right.
only register for HNE
Right.
and histopathology.
Right. I see. So it's an issue with the medical system, right? The way it's set up. Can't do anything about that. But anyway, yeah. So there are other things we could do to nail it right down.
The important thing is if you do a cell block on your cases, at least it saves the patient money from going to a surgeon again to do a biopsy, because that's money as well
Yeah.
spent
And it's more invasive.
and more invasive. This is the cell block
Yeah.
already there.
So
If they don't order IHC, that's okay. But if IHC needs to be done now on your cell block, you know, it's a good cell block.
you have
The
it.
patients,
Yeah.
the saving money
And an invasive procedure
and
too.
an invasive procedure, like you
Yeah.
need anesthesia now to do a biopsy.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Also, we can mention in report, we have cell block. If
Yes.
recommend ICE, we are
Exactly.
able
we-
to do
A cell
perform
block
that.
is available.
Sir, in some cases, cell block also help us for the diagnosis as well, for
Mhm.
primary.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Also,
Yeah,
Like
it shows something.
cystic, a cell block is,
You see it.
don't need immunotherapy.
Okay, good. So this week, we are going to learn how to make cell blocks.
At least it is all easy and
Yes,
cheap.
very
Absolutely.
important.
So possible.
Doesn't want too much money.
No,
At least we can do.
you can do that for your patients. Yeah. Very good. So we're going to work with the FNAT this week to
Make.
encourage everybody to make cell blocks. Yeah, Katie? Cell blocks on the, Hmm? Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. But you could even just make a cell block on everything so that it makes easier to, yeah, right? Okay, excellent. Okay, so that's our plan for this week as well, is to teach all of you how to make better smears, thin smears, and cell blocks, right? So that's this week's agenda. Okay, so here is another case. Sorry, I put this on. This is from a temple. Where's temple? Temple.
Temporal.
Temporal, yeah, the temple. And probably an FCA, I'm not sure. This was the right temple for a 56-year-old female. Okay. It was a temple.
temporal areas.
Was it soft tissue or bone? You don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe soft.
Probably soft.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Okay. All right. So temple relief, if there's any. Yeah, right. Already we are seeing cells here. It's like, oh, what is this? Well, okay. Yes. Very, like you say, almost glandular-like clusters. A lot of clusters. Very cellular. So something is going on here. Oh. right?
Mm.
Also, look like small cells, monomorphic.
Small cells, monomorphic cells. We have a theme today. Small cells.
Some
Okay,
nucleus are elongated.
a little elongated, yeah. And again, you see tiny nucleoli. They look all roundish with very subtle nuclear contour variations, but they're small cells, right? In these clusters. Okay. So again, there could be skin, could be some soft tissue right under the skin. Any thoughts? Very cellular, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, it's resonance. If it's an FN from the temples, can be maybe not the epidermal, right? It's something in the dermis. So in the dermis, we have the adnexal structures, the sweat glands, the hair follicles, the sebaceous glands. Then you have the muscle, the the fat. So when you look at it, this can be a lipoma. Yeah, so you ruled out lipoma already. Doesn't look like a muscle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it says, okay, that's ruled out. Now you still have your skin adnexal structure, that's your sweat gland. Can it be arising from the hair follicles? Can it be arising from the sebaceous? So you're already narrowing it down. And can it be like your basal cell? But you already let's look at basaloid, yes? And then you see this thing here.
Yeah, see this thing here?
Yes.
I found it for you guys.
Mm.
It's actually quite a cool thing. What is this thing?
Glandular structure.
It's a little 3D structure. You see there's a central something, and then these cells kind of at the periphery of it.
Rosette, you mean?
Pardon me?
Rosette formation?
Rosette? Okay, rosette is not so big. Rosette, the cells are in at the periphery, it's usually smaller. Rosette is smaller. I should find you a nice rosette. I don't know that we have rosettes on the thing, but yeah, a rosette would be just a little circlet of these cells, much smaller than that thing. And here's another look of that as well. So yeah, the central material is a bit too big. So yeah, the cells are at the periphery, but not quite rosette formation. They're a bit too haphazardly arranged. This isn't perfect, and maybe they're just sitting like this, but a rosette would be a little something like this. You see how this few little nuclei forming a little circle? Yeah, that would be a bit more what I would describe as rosettes. Okay. So yeah, all right. Any ideas, thoughts, suggestions, differentials we can put on our list? Adenocarcinoma. Someone said, oh, I didn't tell you the age. Did I tell you the age?
No.
Temple. I think I did. 56, female. Okay.
So we didn't get it. Was it connected to epidermis or not? It is deep into dermis.
I'm thinking it was a deep something.
We can think about salivary skin adnexal lesions, adnexal tumor.
This is of deep dermis, the area, it is area of submandibular parotid or other area.
No temporal, like
Temple.
Yeah,
Temple would be up here, right? Mandibular?
around the
Around
ribs.
More.
Temple.
Above
It's
the
a little
ear, scalp
above.
area.
Yeah,
It is
above the
from
salivary
temporal area, sir.
temporal area, yeah.
So if
It was a
exotumor
temporal mass.
mostly can be Merkel cell carcinoma.
Merkel, yeah, okay. So Merkel cell, share with us what are some of the features of Merkel cell?
Merkel cell carcinoma, I think, would be present like dispersed cells or single cells, more like single cells, not in clusters.
Not so cohesive and like
Yeah.
papillary. Okay,
Yes.
okay. Another thing, Merkel cell, is it a peanut?
One of those, yeah.
I think it might be a peanut, I'm not sure, but yeah, it also has features very similar to small cell carcinoma.
It does.
Very similar, but there's definitely some markers which differentiate it. And Merkel cell can metastasize to deep locations as well. It's quite an aggressive tumor, but it has some features very similar to small cell carcinoma. So small cells, pleomorphic, hyperchromatic, necrosis, the works, right? Molding, you haven't seen molding in that one. Here, you see, it doesn't look so pleomorphic. Yeah, they're more rounded. I can actually see some, it looks like almost like a papillae here, actually. Edge, I can see some cytoplasm. There isn't so much nuclear pleomorphism. I can see small nucleoli, which you could also see, I think, maybe in a Merkel, I'm not sure. But yeah. So
Was the
but
lesion cystic or not?
cystic or not? I'm not sure. I don't have that answer.
Because
However-
we can think when you mentioned that papillary configuration, syringocystic adenoma papilliferum, is it common there or not?
Right. I don't know.
But syringocystic, what you're saying, papilliform is a great diagnosis.
Yeah, that's a good differential to put on there. Is it something we can tell on cyto or do you need histo? That word is like, have I heard that? Might be a histologic diagnosis, right?
With the
Yes,
location.
yes, that is.
Yeah, but the location, again,
Yeah.
we definitely are calling this something because whatever's happening here is not normal. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, something definitely going on here. Again, think about your location, your age, your the cells we're seeing, they're more almost
So how do we
papillary.
sign it out, Dr. Mojtaba? That's the thing, right? Well,
Yeah.
Roseman will tell us something, but if you and I are signing it out here today, we would say positive for, would we jump to malignancy or would say positive for a neoplasm and leave that benign malignant category out for now?
I think based on these findings, although I don't have the slide and the ability to see as you see the cells, but based on these monomorphic cells and these round structures, I might not go positive for malignancy. I will describe these and then I will put some differential and request for excisional biopsy or incisional biopsy to be sure.
Totally agree with you. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the way I
But
would.
definitely, I will request a strong incisional or excisional biopsy to rule out malignancy.
Yes. Okay, very good. Yes.
Roseman, you need to tell us and put aside about misery. What are we?
What are we looking at here? Okay, so this is actually, so we knew there was history. This person had, again, adenoid cystic.
This is adenoid cystic, yeah, these are
Yeah,
the
and you
cysts.
see these
Again,
little
bone
hyaline
metas-
globules with these very bland cells sticking to the edges. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah, these kind of globules. So there's a few which are actually quite out in the open and easy to see, but there's a lot of those groups which are these kind of packed little papillae, and you
Excuse
can't
me,
see.
madam.
Yes.
Are you reaching to these findings based on only cytology findings, or
So,
you
so
go
this
to other steps as well, like cell block and IHC stains?
probably we would also confirm with a cell block and IHC, but this person actually already had a history of adenoid cystic,
Yes,
right?
so
So
you
that is super
had a
helpful.
extra puzzle,
Exactly. Another
extra
piece of the
piece
puzzle.
of puzzle, yeah.
Absolutely, yes. So that makes it very easy. And then you see these kinds of structures. It's pretty helpful, right? To make that diagnosis. And then of course, yes, cell block, IHC to confirm. Okay. But yeah, again, they were basaloid cells. This was a very, I don't know, these papillae looked very, there was lots of these papillae very tightly packed. But yes, I think exactly what you said in the absence of this history would be the way to go, right? For you guys here. Okay. All right. Good. Move on. Oh,
Yes.
here is one. This is a central neck FNA. Central neck FNA. From
Which
central neck FNA.
central neck?
Central.
Central neck.
Central neck FNA. 68-year-old female.
68.
Really 68. Yeah. Okay. No. And
Scattered cells.
yeah, now do you see this? What is this?
Keratin.
Keratin. See the difference you were asking earlier? Is there keratin? So these, and then I said miniature squamous cells. So you see those? Some nice nucleated ones, right? There. And this is anucleated debris, right? Anucleated keratinizing debris. So you see the difference? Okay, so we have that. And then what else do we have in the background? Let's look at these. Oops, sorry.
Macrophages, maybe.
Macrophages. How do we know they're macrophages?
We have to check them on a high power.
You have to check them, exactly. Okay, so I see something here, ingested junk. See that?
Yeah.
That helps to confirm. Some don't have
So
junk.
it means our lesion is cystic, probably.
Cystic lesion. So central neck, what are some things we should think about?
So when we find squamous cells with
Yeah,
nuclei, without nuclei, we
yeah,
can think about cystic lesions like hilar cyst, pilometricoma, epidermal inclusion cyst.
thyroglossal
Paraglossal
ducted. Yes, absolutely. Right. Branchial cleft cyst as well.
Lateral.
It's a bit more lateral, but yeah. Epidermal inclusion cyst. Yeah, because you can see squamous component in that. Excellent. Yeah, so those are all good. So we're all thinking what? Cystic, benign. Yes. Right. Okay.
Yes,
And that,
although if we didn't find something else at the end of
yeah.
this.
Yes, exactly. We are going to screen this entire thing because sometimes you can have squamous cell carcinoma hiding in the background. Yes, especially when you have squamous component and keratin debris. So very important to really check your squamous cells. Now, one thing to remember is sometimes when you have these remnant cyst type FNAs, you might see a little bit of squamous atypia because these cells have been sitting in the cystic debris for a while. So a little bit of squamous atypia in your squamous cells. But if it was squamous cell carcinoma, your atypia is much more, and your abnormal cells are much more obvious. Agree? Anybody want to add a comment to that?
The thing is, when it's a 68-year-old, my differential always is make sure you rule out metastatic squamous.
Squamous cell, yeah. Correct.
6-year-old, we don't think of metastatic
No.
squamous.
No,
But
but
in
in
the
older
60
patients,
older
yes,
patients
right,
worry.
yes. But you usually on the cytology, you can see some, like these squamous cells will have just mild atypia. Whereas squamous cell carcinoma, if you have a keratinizing squamous cell carcinoma, you're going to see pleomorphism, tadpole cells, really more obvious nuclear atypia. Okay, but yes, always a point to mention that in these cyst remnant type situations, you can sometimes see like that one doesn't look bad at all, right? It's quite normal. But yeah, and you can see keratin debris in these situations as well. So yes, very important. You see, so that one looks almost like a tadpole cell, but look at that nucleus. Very bland. Yeah. Okay. All right, so that is my 2 bits. And yes, this was a cyst, thyroglossal cyst,
Thyroglossal duct cyst.
duct cyst, yes, negative. Everybody okay with this case? And of course, we would screen the entire thing, not just look at a few marks, right? But as you can see everywhere, same kind of story, yeah? Lots of squamous nucleated, anucleated, and then this background cyst content. Okay. Any questions? Anyone think of something else that you might think on a differential for this?
Okay.
No, all good. Okay. All right. So yeah. Okay. Good. Now let's see here. Oh, this was I think a cell block. 363. We have a cell block for this case as well. So see, it doesn't matter what the heck, if we can make a cell block, we make one. So this helps because now you can actually see all the squamous debris. You can see how, you know, the enucleate, of course, you're not going to see all, but you can see some of your nucleated cells. And again, you can check the nuclei. Some of them you're slicing a little bit sideways, but you see there's still a little bit of squamous atypia even in the cell block. And of course, the cyst content is still in the background. So
Looking benign.
looking
Benign.
benign. Yeah.
Yes.
Is it a bit more comforting to see the cell block?
Yeah.
Any comments, Dr. Molu, on the cell block?
Yeah, just for the residents, will it help you if you did IHC on this one to say is it benign or malignant? Answer is yes or no. What answer?
No.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. IHC is used though.
Because
Just, yeah, I'm squamous cell, but what tell you I'm carcinoma, I'm benign. Yeah. So
it
don't
just tells you
different-
it's squamous.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
What about P63?
It's positive in squamous cell, benign or malignant.
Doesn't matter. Ah, okay. Okay.
So the grant should look like inflammatory.
Well, even in squamous cell carcinoma, you could have inflammatory background. You could, right? So, yeah, but your squamous tibia would be much more obvious and more prominent and more, just more.
Also, the thyroglossal duct cyst become infected. That's why he went to the physician and they perform or recommended the FNC.
Exactly. Right. Okay, now what does this look
Excuse
like?
me, is
Hello?
it enough? Is it
Here,
is the
Highlight.
location enough to
Hello?
differentiate epidermal inclusion cyst from this thyroglossal duct cyst?
Sorry, what was the first inclusion cyst? Dermoid?
Epidermal inclusion cyst, yes. how we will differentiate them? Those columnar cells and the location is enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keratin flex is also not present in such.
What is not present? Sorry,
Keratin flex.
is not present in
It should be present in epidermal inclusion cyst, but not
as
present
well.
here.
Cerebral. But the
Really?
columnar cells has been obeyed.
Yeah, columnar. So you can see columnar cells and squamous cells in a thyroglossal. Yeah. Sometimes you see predominance of one. We didn't see any columnar on the thin prep. It didn't look very well, but yeah, here we found some. So or a nucleated squamous cells in
I think
a
so,
thyroglossal.
Dr. Ramin.
Oh, sorry, Dr. Ramin. On a thyroglossal, you can. Now, to answer your question, Dr. Mustaba, epidermoid cyst versus a thyroglossal, is an epidermoid cyst clean, not so cystic?
No, it is cystic. I think it will be the clinical presentation.
Clinical
And
presentation.
how thyroglossal moves with protruding the tongue and so on. So
Yeah,
that
right.
will be more critical.
So perhaps a more clinical way to
This columnar
differentiate
epithelial cells, presence of columnar epithelial cell can help us.
Yeah.
with a thyroglossal. Yes, right. Epidermoid tends to be more squamous. Okay. Okay.
Columnar comes from thyroid.
No.
The respiratory tract.
Respiratory. Yeah. Yeah. It's part of those remnant epithelial cells, right? So squamous and glandular. Okay. All right. Everybody okay with this? Now. Yeah.
Yes.
That was cool. Okay. Just have a few more and then we are done. So, okay, what is this? Oh, I did bring these. A bone. I thought I left
Bone.
these.
Man.
Get a bone?
Top
Yeah,
bone.
a bone. This is a bone. Hand, a bone in the hand that was something was happening to it. Let me see. 53-year-old male had this issue. I don't know what. Don't ask questions. I don't know what the problem was, but and I have sublocks. Okay, so this is a bone in the hand, FNA. Okay. No, I thought I brought a different one, but that's fine. Okay. The reason I brought this, so we're seeing a lot of this. What is all this?
Deeply.
Yeah, a lot of junk. So what kind of cells are we expecting to see? Hand, bone. What? Maybe cartilage. Would we see lots? Would we see lots if FNA of the bone?
Bone marrow material.
Maybe bone marrow, but yeah. So generally FNA, if it's negative or nothing happening, not abnormal, you don't expect to see a lot of cells, right? Bone, maybe muscle even, you're going through muscle. Okay. Connective tissue, that kind of stuff. So here we're not seeing any of that, correct? Not seeing any of that. It's just like junk. What could you start thinking about?
You can check them. Is it from bone?
If it's a normal bone, no, because it's not gonna let the needle in, right?
Bone simple cyst maybe.
A cyst, yeah. If the bone is, yeah, there's a mass, bone destroying mass, yes, your needle will go in, right? Normal bone, your needle's not going in.
Or else the joint is with the ground.
Okay, a lot of junk, right? This whole thing was just full of junk. So we actually have, oh, I have a mark. Let's go to the mark. Oh, I have a mark of this thing. Is this helpful? Okay, so let's look at this thing. You guys see a crystal? Or
No, it's like cyst maybe.
a cyst,
No.
little ball like something. Okay, let's look. I have another mark. Let's look
Yeah.
at, and I have a cell block.
Cyst.
I'm gonna show you the cell block. So don't panic. We have something else.
Egg
Again,
maybe. It is
an
egg.
egg. Ooh, egg. Wow. Okay, an egg in the bone. That doesn't sound very good. Let's start thinking about something infectious.
Hedatit.
Parasite. Pardon?
Hedatit.
Hydatid. Ah, yes. I don't know about hydatid. Okay. Yes. So something infectious, bacterial, fungal, parasitic, viral. Yes. Okay.
Really?
So I'm going to show you. Sorry, both out. Here is the cell block. Okay, cell block. I'm gonna go. Okay. So, all right. So we've made a few marks and found a few of those little round things again here. Yeah. And again, no, this thing here is junk. It's very fractile. I don't know what. It could be a fiber band of fiber that's slicing through. I don't know. Anyway, but you see these little round things everywhere. Yeah.
Also have one side ring. Oh, this one.
Okay, so these round things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so start thinking what are some differentials that look like this? Infectious things. Let me try to describe this a little bit. So it looks round, kind of like a cyst, with some internal structure that looks like little round things.
Yeah.
Do you see them? Little round things. Okay, think about it. What is infectious and looks like that?
As Muslims, you don't eat this meat, so
But you can also get this from dirt. Can you not inhale it? Farmers can inhale from soil or no? I'm not
I
sure.
think it's not in for ingestion.
Ingestion?
Usually uncooked meat or something, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know what it is.
From pig and pork.
Not sure.
Pig and pork.
Perhaps. I think this could also be a soil organism that you can inhale as a farmer. It can also come through ingestion of a meat product, but also just farming. And you know how you dust from digging up your soil, you can inhale through dust. Okay. I think could be wrong. We'll have to do some Googling on this. Okay. All right. So again here, rounded structure with internal something, little round things growing inside. Those little round things mature and then hatch, burst open. This thing will burst open and you get small round things floating around in the background.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, any ideas, anything coming to mind here? Maybe you don't even have this organism in Afghanistan. I don't know. Pardon? What?
Is it some kind of worm?
This is some kind of fungus.
Fungus.
It's a fungo. I think it's a fungo. Yes, it's a fungo. So, okay, I'll give you the name. Let's not put you out of your stress. Coccidiomycosis.
Yeah, it's a fungus.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a spherule with endospores.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Okay, so this round thing I showed you is the spherule.
Yes.
It's called a spherule, this thing, and you see, oh, there's a nice one
Yes.
with the, it's partially burst, I think, maybe. And then these endospores
Yeah.
develop and mature, and then it bursts, and you get little endospores running around in the background. See, some are super tiny babies, and they will then mature and become another
Large.
spherule.
Wow.
See that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not from the meat, you're right, it's.
Yeah, it's in the soil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is more South America is where this is more predominant, and I think somewhere in Asia too. I'm not sure exactly, but yeah. Anyway, so here's a little bigger spherule. See, it's not quite spherical yet. It's growing. Yeah. Okay. Now, blastomyces can look a little bit like the little baby spherules. The size is right. And the difference is that blasto will bud. Blasto, do you guys see blasto? Maybe not. Blastomycosis, another fungus. It does budding, broad-based budding. And it can sometimes be confused with this, except it doesn't have spherules that are this big with endospores. It just has this size budding organism. I don't know if you guys even see these things here, but I thought I would just bring something in case, you know, any of you maybe come to the West. Not necessarily, it could be, but not necessarily, I don't think. Not necessarily.
What is the age?
This one?
Yes.
Age is 53, male. Yeah. So they must have had a cut or something in their hand because it usually it will, if you have it on the outside and your skin is intact, it won't infect. Or if you breathe it in, it can be inhaled. But, or if you have a break in your skin somewhere, anywhere, it can get in that way too, right? If you touch contaminated soil, usually I think it's a soil organism. So yeah. Anyway, just something, you know, different from benign malignant. This is benign. But yeah, organism, right? And usually organism often has a junky background. Your background looks very different from your normal or malignant background. It looks like very junky when you have an organism, especially in tissue. Okay, good. Questions? No? Okay. All right.
Yes, protein.
There you go. Right.
Blastomycosis.
Blasto, no, this was coccidiomycosis.
Yeah.
Blasto is the differential. Sometimes can look a little bit like some of those endospores. Okay, last case, lymph node from the neck, 5-year-old male. 5-year-old male, what should you be starting to think about?
Okay.
Lymph node in the neck.
Burkitt.
Burkitt. Okay. So let's look at these cells. They're a little dark, aren't they?
More common than Burkitt are your lymphoma leukemia, ALL.
Lymphoma leukemia. Is that in this side of the world as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, lymphoma leukemia.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Blast cells.
so we have a few blast cells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what else do we have?
Mature lymphocytes.
We have mature lymphocytes. Lots.
Yeah.
Lots. Lots of mature, a few blasts. Okay. What should we? Okay, what's this?
Macrophage.
What's it called?
Is to
Tangible body macrophage. Yeah, everybody good with this? I can find a better one, but yeah, that is one. So, granuloma. Have you seen epithelioid cells?
Not used to.
No. So then how did you come up with granuloma? Yeah, but that's not a granuloma, is it? No, granuloma, you need to see the epithelioid
Looks like
clusters.
granuloma, but not granuloma.
Huh, really? Okay then. All right. Are we seeing? Okay, so why do we have so many clusters? What's going on with this lymph node? Are they supposed to be clusters? No. What are these clusters? So let's look at some background lymphocytes. So I have one mature one here. And what else do I have here? Okay, I have this. So I have this cluster. And I have some mature lymphocytes around here. Another little cluster here. Another little cluster here. What are these clusters made up of?
Brown blue cells.
Brown blue cells. Are they different from the background cells?
Yes,
Huh? Different.
yes, it's different.
Mhm.
The
And here.
nucleus are a little bit larger than mature lymphocytes.
So this one is larger, but we
Yes.
found a blast over there. Was it about this size?
Same of this. These
Yeah.
are, but the clamps are smaller.
Small and large. One leukocyte here. One bigger looking nucleus here. So see, I'm seeing again a mixture of large and small cells. Do you agree? Let's find another cluster that we can see a little better, perhaps. Mhm. So we agree these background cells here look more normal. It's a heterogeneous, mature, some blasts, few blasts, lots of mature. We are all in agreement that this background looks normal, or no? Yeah, no, maybe? Okay. No answers? Everybody's thinking, right? Heterogeneous, would we agree?
Yeah.
Small, few large. Okay, so the background cells kind of look okay, normal. It's just these clusters now, we got to try to figure out what the heck they are. So let's here, I have two, this one and this one, a little looser. Okay, let's look at this one. It's a little looser. What are these made up of?
Macrophages, small lymphocytes.
Small lymphocytes, blasts. Could that be tingible bodies? Maybe. It's not great, but maybe. Okay. It's a mixed, still a heterogeneous population in here. What's going on? Why are they forming groups?
Someone epithelial like.
A little bit spindly, you know? Remember we talked about this? Remember germinal centers? Reactive germinal centers, or even germinal center sample, and you get these dendritic cells. Here's a tingible body macrophage, and you get your still nice mixed population. And you, if it's reactive, you might see a few more blasts than usual, but still a heterogeneous population. And you start seeing your germinal centers. Here's a beautiful tingible body macrophage. See that? Okay, and yeah, so we're sampling a germinal center component here, which is why we have these clusters. Yes, those are tangles. Your germinal centers are the active portion of your lymph node. In these tangles with your dendritic cells, which kind of hold everything together. And that's why I have little aggregates like this. But if you can see compare single cells in the background to what's in this aggregate, you see it's the same kind of cell. Anyone have a question, concern, issues, comments, difficult case?
This is the commonest cause, right, for enlarged node
Mm.
neck of a child.
Reactive.
Is a reactive.
Yeah. Mhm. Right?
Yes.
And you can see some of these dendritic little, oh, I thought it was, but it's not. The little spindly nuclei in the background, which are your single dendritic cells too. Again, it's a mixed population, right? Not a monotonous, clonal, monomorphic population, right? Everybody good with this? How
Nice.
about our
So far.
online docs? Any comments? Ah, here's a dendritic nucleus. It's lost in cytoplasm. Okay. Do you recognize tingible body macrophages? Which can be present? Would they be present in malignant and benign? Or only benign?
Malignant.
Also
Mostly in
malignant,
the
yeah.
reactive.
Reactive is your comment, your diagnosis here? Yes, probably a reactive lymph node. Germinal center component was sampled in here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
are we good? This was our last slide. We are done. Good.
Reactive.
This is reactive node, negative. It's a little tricky. Yeah. It can be. All right.
No more